it's important to try things out and important to be careful about what you commit to. You try a lot of hobbies out and you commit to the ones that make the most sense and feel the best for you.
Yeah.
You don't just say, you know what, I just decided on a whim, I'm going to become an expert skateboarder. If I like it, that's cool, but if I don't like it, doesn't matter. Already committed.
Just going to do it
I'm
anyway.
going to be an expert skateboarder.
Well, hey, skateboarding is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So in theory, the next 10 years of my life can only be skateboarding. Done.
They're spoken for.
It's a terrible idea, and languages can take that long.
Well, I know something you struggled with for a long time was this perception of who you were at maybe 19 or 20 years old and feeling sort of obligated to do everything in your life that everything you're going to do in your life would have to kind of harken back to that rather than being something that you maybe would want to do more now.
Yeah, it was kind of about being stuck in a previously determined identity.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also why it's important to try out these languages. It's not about what past you thought you were or who you think you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. It's about trying things and doing what feels right. We have, we don't have a lot of time, and life goes faster than you think it will. 5 years just goes because you're busy.
Yeah.
So figuring these things out sooner is nicer when it comes to such a long-term commitment as language.
Now, do you think it would be prudent to say that there's not going to be like this concrete feeling of, yes, this is the one right away?
Yeah,
and that shouldn't deter you from continuing on with it, because it's going to be hard in the beginning, and there are always going to be parts of it that kind of suck.
Yeah, it's not going to be the perfect thing right away. And that's why I say at least 2 to 4 weeks or a semester. Or you can't just try it out for 3 seconds and then know what you want. I remember learning all those conjugation tables. I did not really appreciate the conjugation tables in my Spanish class in high school. But I'm really interested in a lot of Spanish literature.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have gotten to that point if it weren't for the really grueling grammar and conjugation stuff. And I don't know that that's the best way to learn it. High school classes don't always do a great job of how that works, but that's an even better reason for why you should be having the extracurricular attachment to the language. Mm-hmm. If all it is a bunch of conjugation and declension tables, you're not going to like almost any language probably, unless you're really into the linguistics like me occasionally. But I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, it's just like spreadsheets.
Yeah, it's like the German declension tables. I hope you like German, because the declension tables themselves are probably not that fun.
Yeah. Well, it's like music too. Like, music theory isn't actually that fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're just analyzing pieces of music and being like, oh, is this the tonic chord in this key or what? Or not. And then, it's not fun. But when you're trying to compose something, then it becomes very interesting, because it becomes a toolbox at that point. Yeah. Oh, I can actually use this chord ladder here to create a pleasing sounding chord progression. I'm not going to have to sit here for 6 hours trying to try every single chord in the entire book here. I know, here's the key of D minor. Here's 7 chords that work really well in that. Okay, here's a great chord progression. Here's probably where I should start. Now I can just throw a melody on top of that, and I have a pretty good song in 5 minutes. So I think you kind of date any hobby that you're thinking about getting into. And you have to remember that even if a curriculum puts really boring things like a declension table or your bar staff or anything like that really early on, and it seems boring, it's going to be very useful later on when you've immersed yourself in the hobby and now you want to start to do something with it.
Yeah.
Because then it's a tool.
It's really do everything you can to answer the question, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. And that's all. Languages are long-term. You can't, with woodworking and stuff, I could make a project. I could say, I'm going to make this project in a week or 2. That's my goal. With language, that's not usually a thing, because once I have a good conversation, the conversation goes away.
Yep.
I'm not holding it in my hand saying, look what I did. It's gone. Mm-hmm. So you really got to have an answer for why you're doing it, because it doesn't provide usually the same concrete goalposts that you can meet.